Hello and welcome back to Start Smart with Heart. This podcast is about asset literacy, leadership, and building systems that support long-term stability for individuals, families, and communities. In our last episode, we discussed why asset literacy should be part of workforce development. Today, we're taking that conversation one step further, because while employment creates income, ownership creates opportunity. Employment is important. It provides stability. It provides experience. It provides a pathway forward. But communities that focus only on employment may unintentionally miss one of the most powerful drivers of long-term economic resilience: ownership.
There is nothing wrong
Today
with
we're
employment.
talking about why communities must teach
Every
ownership,
community
not just
needs
employment.
skilled workers. Every economy depends on people contributing their talents and abilities. Employment creates income. It helps people support their families. It builds experience and professional skills. But ownership serves a different purpose. Ownership creates influence. Ownership creates control. Ownership creates stability, shape outcomes over time. When someone owns a business, property, intellectual property, investments, or other assets, they are participating differently in the economy. They are not only earning income, they are building value. And understanding that distinction is important. Ownership changes how people think. One reason ownership matters is because it changes perspective. Owners tend to think differently. They begin asking questions like, how do I protect this? How do I improve this? How do I sustain this? How do I transfer this? Ownership encourages long-term thinking. It shifts focus from immediate outcomes to future outcomes. And that shift is powerful because communities become stronger when people think beyond today's paycheck. When people begin thinking about stewardship, succession, and sustainability, they start building foundations that can support future generations. That is why ownership education matters, not because everyone must own a business, not because everyone must invest in real estate, but because everyone benefits from understanding how ownership works. Communities that teach ownership build capacity. Communities become stronger when ownership knowledge becomes common knowledge. When people understand ownership, economic participation expands, leadership develops, asset protection improves, decision making becomes more strategic. This is especially important. Communities seeking long-term economic resilience because ownership creates opportunities that can continue long after an individual job or position ends. Ownership helps communities build capacity from within, and capacity creates independence. The goal is not simply economic activity, the goal is economic strength. Ownership and stewardship work together. Ownership without stewardship can create problems. Stewardship without ownership can limit opportunity. The two work together. Ownership creates responsibility, and stewardship ensures that responsibility is exercised wisely. This is why our conversations about leadership, stewardship, asset literacy, and economic development are connected. They are all part of the same system. A system that helps people move from survival to stability, from stability to growth, and from growth to generational impact. When communities teach both ownership and stewardship, they prepare future generations to lead responsibly. Now, before we close, I want to share a piece of wisdom from Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 23. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Now, this verse reminds us that opportunities created through action. Ownership requires effort, stewardship requires effort, leadership requires effort. But those efforts, when applied consistently, create lasting value. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Start Smart with Heart. Now, if today's conversation encouraged you to think differently about ownership and economic opportunity, consider sharing it with someone involved in work development, entrepreneurship, education, or community leadership. Next time, we'll discuss why generational wealth begins with generational wisdom, because assets alone are not enough. The knowledge to manage, protect, and transfer them matters just as much. Until then, start smart and lead with heart.